Good morning again, people. Welcome back to Rax Global. Great week on the charts last week. So let's do the same thing again. Let's start on our daily chart, look at anything that's changed over the weekend, and then let's get into our daily chart, our 30-minute chart, to see exactly where we are on the day and scout some positions. So with no further ado, let's dive in. Okay, so if we're just having a little look on our daily chart, you can see we have got what we can consider some reasonably odd kind of price action. So last week, you can see we've had a move up pretty much at the start of the week. On the Monday, we had a big push to take us out of this little values zone and also above back into all-time highs. And then Tuesday, we went above the high, didn't manage to close above the high. Wednesday, we've done the same again, when we traded up and didn't manage to close above the high. Thursday, we got a down day where price did not actually trade above the Wednesday's high at all. And then Friday, we had a major push down, which didn't close as the lows actually started to pull up, but definitely still ended in a bearish day. So I think what we have to see here is that we've got over the weekend, we've had a massive gap and we've opened pretty much again in all-time highs, but we have not managed to basically close on the day yet. We've been trading down since obviously that major move up at the start. So I think obviously a good tussle between buyers and sellers here is obviously very present, at least for the day that we're in. But we can see that there is some very strong preceding perceptions about price before over the weekend and as the market opened this morning. So definitely a buy side imbalance still. We can still see the price is still obviously attempting to move to the upside. We're just not comfortable about the sustainability and how well price is actually doing in this attempts to move up. So we just want to see, I think today, who's going to be in charge of that battle. Are we going to kind of move back down to the area where we should have opened, or are we going to continue this very, very favorable buying strength and go upwards? So we'll go into our 30-minute chart just to have a little breakdown and see clearer where we are. But I think, yeah, this is a good indication that buyers may at least be trying to continue to push the market upwards. So yes, again, if we're looking at our 30-minute chart, we've actually got quite a considerable amount of conflicting factors. So we just start obviously looking at Friday. We can see we have a value area that's actually overlapping to the downside. On the actual day, we've opened in the middle of value, traded up to the value area high boundary, which we were particularly looking for, and the price has traded down very, very strongly from that moment. But again, we've left a massive tail at the bottom of the session and then managed to trade up towards the end. Now, when we've opened this morning, we've opened at the Asian session so far above the range and also pretty much, like I said, in all-time highs, and it's just traded straight up. However, price has started to consolidate. If you can see, we've traded in the start of the Asia session up to the top of the day today, and this morning we've now opened pretty much roughly midway through that candle at the start of the London session. But let's actually talk about this open. So this open is above value. It's also outside of the range on the upside as well. So this constitutes to a significant imbalance on the buy-in side. So I think the first thing we want to do this morning is see if this perception of price, which is shown by buyers, can be protected. And the way for that to happen is whether price can come back to value or the range at all. So if we can come back to the range today, which is about 4620, or come back to the value area high, which is about 4614, we can then see that price would obviously be corrected, and then we can then actually retest and actually see how strong the buyers are about this value and perception. However, because value actually did move down on the day, we could actually see a move all the way down to the value area low, and that would still be absolutely fine because value moved down on Friday. So if we test the latter or the bottom end of the value area boundary, that would still be feasible and potentially an area where buyers could still be protecting price. But I think, yeah, the first area you want to look at is just how price responds at 4620 and 4614, because if it just breaks straight through here, it could actually be sellers who continue moving the market down. So it's just about being careful. So again, I think today, if I'm just going to round it up and come back to what we were speaking about, I think the best thing to look for me, obviously, even though there is two situations that can happen today, which could be the acceptance or the rejection, I don't think I will be trading the acceptance just because of how large this gap is and how much I would say excess is left behind on the Friday. I think it's a lot of, just a lot of indecision is what I would actually like to use as the word. So what I would like to see here is a move back down to the range. Ideally, even I would like to see it come to the value area, and then we can actually see price correct obviously this massive gap that was created overnight. But not only correct that gap, we can then test whether buyers do actually have this real perception of price, and then whether they can then move the market back up. So I think that'll be all today, guys. Have a great day trading. Like, comment, share, subscribe as usual, and hope you have a great day.